Once upon another time, there was an elderly carpenter who had worked for the same company for many years. He had skillfully performed his job for years, completing each task meticulously and successfully finishing every project, no matter how challenging it was. However, the time for retirement had come. He was slowly growing older, and with each passing day, the difficulties of the job were felt more in his body. One day, the carpenter went to his boss and told him that he had decided to retire. His boss was saddened by this news. He didn't want to lose such a valuable worker. But the carpenter's decision was final. "I have worked for this company for many years, and now it's time for me to rest," he said. After thinking for a moment, the boss made him an offer. "I'd like to give you one last task. Before you retire, I ask that you build just one more house. This house will be your final project." The carpenter accepted without hesitation. After all, he was still determined to do a good job, as he always had. But something had changed within him. His motivation wasn't as high as it used to be, because this house no longer had any personal meaning for him. The end was near, so he rushed through it, cutting corners on some aspects. He chose lower quality materials, neglected some adjustments, and didn't give the attention and care needed to finish the work properly. Even though it seemed like he was doing his job, his heart and soul were not in it. Once everything was finished, the boss came to inspect the house and make the final checks. The carpenter, thinking he was done and relieved, informed his boss. The boss stood in front of the house the carpenter had built, holding the key in his hand. He looked at the carpenter and said, "This house is yours. It's a gift from me to you. Your house, as a thank you for the dedication and work you've shown in this company for all these years." For a moment, the carpenter was stunned. He was shocked. If he had known this house would be his own, everything would have been different. Every nail, every piece of wood, every wall, every detail would have been done with much more care. But now everything was complete. His own house had become a symbol of his mistakes. He felt a deep sense of regret. If he hadn't rushed so much, perhaps he could have built a stronger house. But now it was too late. All that remained were the mistakes in the work he had done. It was then that he realized, just like everything he had done in his life, this house too was a reflection of the work he had put into it. If he had always worked his best, everything could have been different, but now, everything was his fault. Life is a process of building every day. No matter how fast we go or how little care we take, the results of our actions will always stay with us. The care you put into building a house today will determine the life you build tomorrow. When you don't do a good job, you are not only damaging that one task, but also your entire future.